Why is it that the harder you try to win someone over, the further they seem to drift away? You text her, you call her, you show up where she hangs out, you bend over backwards to prove your worth, and yet somehow it feels like you're pushing her away with every desperate attempt to pull her closer. If you've ever found yourself in this exhausting cycle of pursuit, constantly wondering what you did wrong or what you need to do differently, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. That gnawing feeling in your chest when she takes hours to respond to your messages. The way your heart sinks when she seems less interested every time you interact. The confusion when everyone tells you to just be yourself, but being yourself hasn't been working. Here's what nobody tells you about attraction. It's not about chasing, it's about becoming someone worth being pursued by. Think about it. When was the last time you desperately wanted something that was being shoved in your face? When was the last time you valued something that came too easily? The uncomfortable truth is that we're wired to want what feels slightly out of reach, what requires some effort to obtain, what challenges us just enough to make the victory feel meaningful. But here's where most guys get it completely wrong. They think creating attraction means playing games, being mysterious for the sake of being mysterious, or worse, treating women poorly because they have heard that nice guys finish last. That's not what this is about at all. What I'm talking about is something much deeper, much more authentic, and infinitely more powerful. It's about shifting from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance. It's about transforming from someone who needs validation to someone who provides value. It's about becoming genuinely interesting instead of just being interested. Let me ask you something. When you're chasing her, what energy are you putting out into the world? You're communicating that you don't believe you're enough as you are. You're saying that your happiness depends on her response, her attention, her approval. And that energy, it's repelling, not attractive. Women can sense neediness from a mile away, not because they're cruel or heartless, but because neediness signals insecurity, and insecurity suggests that you haven't figured out your own life yet. Why would someone want to be with a person who hasn't learned to be complete on their own? So what's the solution? How do you make her come to you without playing manipulative games or becoming someone you're not? First, you need to understand that attraction isn't something you create through your actions toward her. Attraction is something you create through your relationship with yourself and your life. When you're genuinely excited about your own existence, when you have passions that light you up, when you're building something meaningful, people are naturally drawn to that energy. Start by asking yourself this question. If she disappeared from your life tomorrow, what would you still be excited about? If the answer is nothing much, then you've identified the real problem. You've made her the center of your universe instead of making yourself the center of your own universe. Here's what you need to do instead. Begin investing in yourself with the same intensity you've been investing in winning her over. Take that energy you've been pouring into analyzing her every text message and redirect it toward becoming the most interesting version of yourself. What does that look like practically? It means developing genuine interests and pursuing them with passion. It means setting goals that have nothing to do with romantic relationships and working toward them consistently. It means building a social circle that energizes you, not because they're potential wingmen, but because they genuinely add value to your life. When you start doing this, something magical happens. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes hoping for her message. You stop planning your day around the possibility of seeing her. You stop measuring your self-worth by her level of interest in you. And here's the beautiful irony. The moment you stop needing her attention is often the moment she starts wanting to give it to you. But let's be clear about something. This isn't a manipulation tactic. You're not pretending to be disinterested while secretly hoping she'll chase you. You're genuinely becoming someone who doesn't need external validation to feel good about themselves. You're developing what psychologists call secure attachment, which is incredibly attractive to emotionally healthy people. Think about the people in your life who you most admire and want to be around. Are they the ones who constantly seek your approval and validation? Or are they the ones who seem comfortable in their own skin, who have interesting things going on, who light up when they talk about their passions? The truth is, confident people are magnetic not because they're trying to be, but because they're not trying to be anything other than themselves. They're not performing for an audience. They're not constantly seeking approval. They're simply living their lives fully and authentically. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what if she loses interest completely while I'm focusing on myself? What if she moves on to someone else? And here's the hard truth you need to hear. If she moves on because you stopped chasing her, then she wasn't genuinely interested in you in the first place. She was interested in the attention, the validation, the ego boost of being pursued. Is that really the kind of connection you want? Do you want to be with someone who only values you for how much you need them? Or do you want to be with someone who chooses you because they genuinely enjoy who you are when you're being authentically yourself? When you stop chasing and start building, you naturally filter out people who are only interested in the chase and attract people who are interested in genuine connection. You begin to operate from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, and that shift changes everything. Here's what this looks like in practice. Instead of texting her constantly, you text when you have something genuinely interesting to share. Instead of always being available at her convenience, you have your own schedule and priorities. Instead of agreeing with everything she says, you have your own opinions and you express them respectfully. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being warm but not needy, interested but not desperate, available but not at the cost of your own life and goals. And here's something crucial to understand. If this approach doesn't work with her specifically, it will work with someone else who's better suited for you. When you become genuinely attractive, you don't just attract one person, you become attractive to the right kind of people in general. The goal isn't to manipulate one specific person into wanting you. The goal is to become the kind of person that the right person will naturally want to be with. And that kind of person is someone who has their own life, their own passions, their own sense of purpose. So stop chasing, start building. Build your interests, build your skills, build your social circle, build your confidence, build your life. Become so interested in your own growth and your own journey that you don't have time to obsess over whether someone else is interested in you. When you do this consistently, something beautiful happens. People start coming to you, not because you've tricked them or manipulated them, but because you've become genuinely worth coming to. You've become someone who adds value to others' lives instead of someone who needs others to validate their existence. And that shift from needing to being needed, from chasing to being chased, from scarcity to abundance, that's not just attractive. That's transformation. That's growth. That's becoming the person you were always meant to be. The woman who's right for you won't make you chase her. She'll recognize your value and want to be part of the amazing life you're building. And when that happens, you'll understand that the best relationships aren't about pursuit at all. They're about two complete people choosing to build something beautiful together. So stop chasing, start becoming. The right person will notice, and when they do, you'll finally understand what real attraction feels like.